I will be queen, though. Queen you shall be, until there comes another, younger and more beautiful, to cast you down and take all that you hold dear. Will the king and I have children? Oh, aye, 6 and 10 for him, and 3 for you. Gold shall be their crowns, and gold their shrouds. And when your tears have drowned you, the Valonqar shall wrap his hands about your pale white throat and choke the life from you. Lovers of Westeros, you know what this is. The famous Valonqar prophecy delivered by Maggie the Frog to Cersei in Cersei's youth. It foretells her rise and her downfall, and has haunted Cersei her entire life, both in her waking hours and her sleep. Every time she tries to distance herself from it, she catapults herself closer. While ambiguous on its face, this prophecy actually tells us quite a lot. The epicenter of this video will be the Valonqar, more specifically, someone who I think is the most overlooked person to fill the Valonqar's shoes. The Queen of the Andals, the Rhoynar and the First Men, Lady of the Seven Kingdoms and Protector of the Realm, Lady of Dragonstone, Queen of Meereen, Khaleesi of the Great Grass Sea, the Unburnt, Breaker of Chains, and Mother of Dragons. That's right, I'm talking about Queen Daenerys Stormborn of the House Targaryen, first of her name. When thinking about all the various people who could fulfill the Valonqar prophecy, I think I'm in lockstep with a good portion of Thrones fandom in that Arya Stark or Jaime Lannister are the odds-on favorites. Additionally, I think the sentimental side in all of us would love for Tyrion to be the one to choke Cersei out, or maybe you wouldn't mind Gendry killing Cersei to get justice for his father, King Robert, whose murder Cersei commissioned and has never answered for. In any case, I think for a lot of us, Daenerys is towards the bottom of the list in terms of Valonqar candidacy. I'm here in this video to state her case and give her candidacy a boost in the polls. I'm not sure why Dany is so low on most folks' Valonqar totem poles. At a baseline level, she meets the definition of a Valonqar, meaning she's not the eldest in her line of siblings, regardless of who you think her father is. And is one of Cersei's biggest political rivals, actually probably the biggest political rival, Dany would certainly want Cersei dead, because as we've seen in the show, Cersei's not going down without a fight. Now, before I go on, I'll engage in my customary due diligence and remind everyone that Dany does indeed qualify as a Valonqar. In A Feast for Crows, Maester Aemon indicates that there could have been a translation error in the prince that was promised prophecy, say that 10 times fast, which had been interpreted for 1,000 years to represent a man. Due to this suspected error, Aemon believes the prophecy may refer to a woman. This has led many, myself included, to think the term used in the prophecy regarding the promised prince is gender neutral. Missandei mentions this in season 7 of the show, matter of fact. In any case, because of this genderless term, readers suspect that more gender-neutral words exist in the High Valyrian language, and that Valonqar is one such. So, the door is open for Daenerys to fit the Valonqar role. Now, what specifically opened my eyes to Daenerys' potential has nothing to do with the rudimentary elements of the prophecy. Rather, it was the symbolism of Daenerys' Hrothgar pelt, and I know I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but it's the best I can do. Let's roll with it. Unfortunately, this was scrubbed from Dany's show story, which is in part why I think she's an underrated Valonqar contender. Rest assured, I've got the details to share, though. Hrothgar are a breed of white lion native to the Dothraki Sea. In a Game of Thrones, Khal Drogo and his Blood Riders hunt one. It lashes Drogo through his leggings, scarring his leg, but ultimately Drogo kills it. When he returns home from the hunt, he promises to make Daenerys a cloak of its skin. This promise is seemingly kept because Dany takes to wearing it in A Clash of Kings. It originally serves the purpose of something she wears to shield her scalp from the sun because her hair had been burned away in Drogo's pyre. Apparently, the lion's head makes a nice hood. She also wears it after baths should someone need a word before she's gotten dressed. While in the House of the Undying, Daenerys has a vision of the White Lion running through grass taller than a man. This is where the symbolism starts to pick up, in my opinion, because when next the Hrothgar is mentioned in A Storm of Swords, Dany starts favoring it, resting in it because it reminds her of Drogo. This pattern continues in A Dance with Dragons, where we see the evolution from necessity to preference. At this point, Dany's hair has grown back, and she has the shelter of her pyramid, so she has no need to wear the pelt. But she chooses to, despite its musty smell and being too big for her, because it makes her feel close to Drogo. And that's the last we hear of Dany's lion robe. On its face, an article of clothing is seemingly inconsequential, but there is so much symbolism in it. Combined with the fact that Dany grows to favor it, I just don't think we should ignore this. For Pete's sake, Dany is drawing comfort from wearing the skin of a dead lion. If that doesn't foreshadow her killing a Lannister, I don't know what does. Admittedly, a case could be made that the lion which best connects to the Hrothgar pelt is Jaime. A Hrothgar is a white lion, and Jaime, a lion of Lannister, wears a white cloak as a member of the Kingsguard. Plus he killed Daenerys' father, so she has reason to want him dead. But any way you slice it, a dead lion is a dead lion is a dead lion. There are 3 to choose from, so at the end of the day, Cersei could be one of them. In a way, it would be quite clever for George to lead us to believe the Hrothgar cloak indicates Dany killing Jaime, when in actuality it's marking her, subtly of course, as the Valonqar. This may just be my humble opinion, but I think fans have lost appreciation for a truly dramatic scene due to our bloodlust and thirst for vengeance, myself included. Case in point, Arya's House Frey massacre. Don't get me wrong, I loved this scene, and I still do. I loved it at the time because I've been waiting for the Freys to get their comeuppance since the Red Wedding, and I wanted that comeuppance to be bloody and brutal, which the show delivered. However, as satisfying as the scene was, it really wasn't that dramatic because the audience knew what was going to happen the whole time. Hell, we knew what would happen since the season 6 finale when Arya killed Walder the Worm in such a way that left his face intact. So again, the justice we've all yearned for was undercut by the predictability of the scene. Yeah, it felt really good and we finally felt like the Freys got it, they had it coming, but at the same time, how good was it really if you knew what was going to happen? Having Daenerys be the Valonqar delivers the drama because it's more of a fair fight. If Cersei were to go up against someone like Arya, that's without any of the faceless man stuff. If it was just a one-on-one, hand-to-hand combat situation, were Cersei to go up against someone like Arya, or Brienne, or Yara, she wouldn't have a snowball's chance in hell of winning that fight. Those women are too capable of defending themselves in hand-to-hand combat. Dany, on the other hand, save for the time she slapped Viserys, we've never seen her fight anyone, so we don't know how she'd fare in hand-to-hand combat, which would be the drama of it all. If she and Cersei were to get in a tussle for half a heartbeat, you might think Cersei has a chance. Hell, the scuffle might go the full 12 rounds with Dany getting the jump on Cersei at the very last second and only then choking the life from her. That's the unpredictability I think Cersei's death needs. And not for nothing, I feel like we need to see Daenerys kill someone without a dragon. In addition, a bonus exists for Daenerys that doesn't exist for any other character, speaking from a show perspective. If she turns out to be the Valonqar, she would make the entire prophecy about one person. It's clear that Dany was the younger and more beautiful queen that was to cast Cersei down and take all that she holds dear. Again, this is the show we're talking about. It was never Marjorie. Now, the Valonqar prophecy doesn't have to be read as the young, beautiful replacement and the Valonqar being the same person. The two figures could be two separate, unrelated people. They could be two separate but related people. Or, as would be the case for Daenerys, the same person. In the books, and to an extent on the show, Cersei believes the two figures to be Marjorie and Tyrion, so I personally appreciate an option that Cersei doesn't see coming. Daenerys being her replacement and the Valonqar simultaneously would certainly be that. One last connection I'd like to point out. In a way, Daenerys killing Cersei to remove her as monarch would bring Jaime killing Dany's father Aerys full circle. Granted, Jaime didn't kill Aerys to take the throne for himself, but he still eliminated a Targaryen monarch. Now a Targaryen is eliminating a Lannister monarch. And with that, this video is at its end. Now, will Dany be the Valonqar? I don't know. The show has given itself quite a lot of wiggle room in that regard, so it could be anyone. At this point, almost everyone wants Cersei dead, so that further muddies the waters. However, I hope I've made a fair case for why we shouldn't overlook Daenerys as a candidate. Sure, a Cersei-Dany fight to the death wouldn't be as cool or jaw-dropping as Arya utilizing her skills as a faceless man to eliminate Cersei, or Euron Greyjoy sacrificing her to the drowned god, because remember, he's got two good hands, and what better could you do with two good hands than choke someone? Now, it might not be as cool as those things, but that's okay. Sometimes a good old-fashioned, evenly matched fight is what we need. Think Duncan the Tall versus Aerion Brightflame at the Ashford tourney. Their toe-to-toe brawl made an already dramatic trial by 7 one of the most epic scenes in A Song of Ice and Fire. While the circumstances would be different, and Dany and Cersei obviously have a much different physical stature than Duncan and Aerion, a fight between the two can still deliver. Maybe Cersei even scratches Dany's leg up like the Hrothgar raked Drogo's. In any case, Daenerys is a Valonqar contender in her own right that shouldn't be overlooked. I'm Ashley of Naath. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.